As much details as you want to give, the floor is yours.
So, I mean, I could ramble all day long. Ask me a question, and then I'll be very elaborate on the question. Give me a question about the women in Colombia.
How do the woman in Colombia respond to black men from America?
Okay, first of all, we have to start with this. When you talk about Latin American, outside of Africa, the place that holds the largest amount of African people, people with African ancestry, is in Latin America. So let's start there. One could argue there are more Spanish speaking black people throughout the entire world than English speaking. You could almost argue that. But
Damn.
nevertheless, they
I never
are
thought of that.
receptive to black men, especially black American men. If anybody tells you any different, they don't know what they're saying. Now, you have different phenotypes, right? Throughout Latin America, throughout Colombia. One thing about Colombia, you have you the phenotype is very diverse. Some people like to say that there's two or three phenotypes, four phenotypes. That's not true. Dude, let me tell you something. I need to do some research to figure out where this, let me tell you, there's this one look that I'm, there's one phenotype that I'm very curious about. There's this Asian Spanish type phenotype. Dude, I have to figure out where this comes from because you have white Latinas and Afro Latinas, both with the Asian phenotype, high cheekbones, slanted eyes, long silk black hair. Where does that come from? It can't be by coincidence because the phenotype is too pronounced. You have a person who looks like they're from Malaysia, but they're in Colombia. Like
Mm.
you have a person who look like they're from the Philippines, but they're from Colombia, Spanish speaking, the entire family. I have to find out where this phenotype comes from because this isn't a coincidence. The phenotype is too pronounced. You'll walk up and like, dude, where are you from? But back to your original question, are women receptive to black men? Of course. American black men, of course. That blue passport holds weight, right? So what this means is one could argue that the world's most desirable men are black American and white American men. You could argue that globally. That can be a global argument. Of all the white men throughout the entire world, which one of them are the most desirable? Most would argue American men. Throughout the entire world, what black men are the most desirable? One could argue black American men. It's a fair argument that could be made. But once people see us, they know us from the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we carry ourselves. You can look at our sneakers a lot of times too, because black American men were real big on our sneakers. So
Hmm.
um so yeah, and I mean, I hear when people make disparaging marks about the women overseas. A lot of it is shaming tactics they use. They don't necessarily hold any weight. They don't have any validity to them. But I'll tell you, dude, you see women who are absolutely beautiful. Soon as you get off the airplane, and listen to me, my beauty standards aren't those of a Memphis, Tennessee, Atlanta, Houston. No, no, no. When I say a woman is beautiful, she's beautiful by international standards. I'm talking Manhattan, New York, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, um, Calabasas. I'm talking international standards. That's the only standards I recognize. So if I say a woman is beautiful, she's beautiful by international standards. I'm not talking about the girl who's cute in her neighborhood. No, no, no. Listen, if you're truly attractive as a woman, you're attractive next to all nationalities of women. There's no such thing as European standards. Because here's the thing, let's talk sisters. When they say, oh, that's a European standard of beauty, that's horseshit. I can point out black women who can go stand next to any white woman in the room and blow her out the water. No such thing as European standard of beauty because as African people, we have every phenotype, the spectrum. We have black people with thin nose, thin lips, light eyes, light hair, who never ever interbred with Europeans. We have black people as dark as this t-shirt. The only thing white is their teeth, who never interbred with the European. As African people, the original people of the earth, we have every phenotype. Every phenotype. There's no such thing. We give too much credit to other people. You have black people with straight hair, thin nose, thin lips, who never, ever, ever interbred with Europeans. So stop with that European standard of beauty shit. But nevertheless, as I was saying, there's no such thing as a European standard of beauty, because if you're truly attractive, you can stand next to any other race and ethnicity. Back to the Colombian women, as I told you, soon as you get off the airplane, like I fly American Airlines, dude, those women who work for American Airlines are eights, nines, and tens, back to back to back, eights, nines, and tens, international standards. Upscale, you're talking about a group of women who make about $400 a month. Very prideful. There's no such thing as bonnets. There's no such thing as slippers, walking on the back of shoes. That does not exist. You're talking about a group of women who carry themselves with class. You can go to the local grocery market where that girl is in there making about $275, $300 a month. She's still going to have herself presentable. She's going to have on tennis shoes. She's going to have her hair slicked back, and she's going to carry herself with pride. You don't have such a large amount of the quote unquote hood rat culture. You're talking about a very prideful group of women. It doesn't matter if you want to deal with a regular girl or you want to deal with a woman of the night. You're going to get the exact same product. A person who carries herself with a level of class and dignity and just self-respect. There's no such thing as women going outside with pajamas. That does not exist. There's no such thing as women coming outside with bonnets on their head. That does not exist. You're talking about a very, very group of prideful women. And the smiles are endless.
All right. They're just nice to you to get a green card. You
That's
say
a
what?
bunch of horse shit. Let me tell you why. When people listen, first of all, they just let millions of migrants into this country. If a woman really wants to come to America, I promise you she can get here. As a matter of fact, if a woman really wants to come to America, it doesn't matter where she is. She can get there faster on her own than with you with that K1 fiance visa. Dude, a K1 fiance visa, that should take like 2 years. That should take it literally takes years. Why would a woman wait to get with a guy, pretend to be pretend to be the significant other, wait 2, 3, sometimes 4 years to come to America when she can just come in? Listen, she'll come. Okay, listen. Why would a woman wait 2, 3, even 4 years to come to America to be with a guy, right? And come here and work when she can come here through Texas, come in as a migrant, you get immediate benefits. Once you go through the process, once you get all your information, once you get your social security number and all that, she has a blank credit report, which she can start building credit immediately. They're giving migrants food stamps, they're giving them housing. They're giving them debit cards with $9,000 on them.
What?
Why would any woman wait to marry somebody when she can come here on her own? Dude, she'll come here on her own and be set. You understand? Those migrants come into the country, and some of them are able to accelerate faster than Americans because they get benefits that Americans aren't allowed to get. That's a bunch of horseshit. Another thing, these women are family oriented. So most of the women would rather you move to their country
Then come here.
They like, listen, coming to America, that's cool, but I'd rather you move here. That's a bunch of horseshit. Think about this. A woman, and most of the time, a woman lives with her mother, her grandmother, or father. let alone brothers and sisters, but let's just say mom and grandmother, right? My
Mm-hmm.
mom and grandmother are here. My life is here. My culture is here. I meet an American, I move away from my family, right? Or my American can move here and I can have my husband, my mom, and my grandma. That's what the women would rather. Anybody saying that a woman is looking for a green card, I would tell them to update their stereotypes. Update your stereotypes. That's a bunch of horse shit.
Mm.
Listen to me. The vast majority of those women that you bring to America and those women break bad, those are unattractive men dealing with prostitutes who didn't come in good faith from the beginning. If you're an unattractive man, if you're dealing with a prostitute, most of those women are going to break bad because it wasn't genuine in its inception.
Mm.
It is not easy to take a good girl out her country. You go get a regular everyday Colombian girl and talk to her about bringing her to America. Man, that shit ain't that easy, dude. That is not that easy. Believe what I'm telling you. Those women not trying to leave their family like that. And you have to meet the entire family. You have to build, you have to break bread with the entire family. You have to build a rapport. That's not true. The women who you talk about breaking bad on people, those are mostly Dominican women, truth be told. If, if,
Mm.
if y'all really want to keep it 2,000, those are Dominican women, not just, let me specify. Those are Dominican prostitutes dealing with unattractive men who mainly live up north, right? Those men be bringing those women back to Chicago, New York, Connecticut, DC, and the women break bad. Why? She used her trick to get over here and she broke back. Listen to me. If you want to deal with a regular girl, it's going to take way longer because a regular girl, you have to visit the country multiple times. A regular girl, you have to deal with her. You have to deal with her family. A prostitute to get up and go. Shit, you meet her Friday, you could damn near start the process Monday. But a regular girl, nah, dude, you have to build a rapport. That's a bunch of horse shit. Like I said, anybody saying that those women are looking for green cards, I would challenge you to update your stereotypes because right now, over the last couple years, these women have been coming here by the droves. Believe what I'm telling you. A lot of people just aren't tapped into certain news. We only know about the migrants. Believe me, those women have been coming here for the last couple years. It's not that difficult, especially if you're from Venezuela, if you're from Cuba. Certain places, they can come to the American border and seek asylum. There, once they come into America, believe me, those women are given benefits immediately. They don't need you to come here.
Mm.
Believe what I'm telling you. So again, anybody pushing that narrative, you have to update your stereotypes. If you're dealing with a regular girl, it is not easy to uproot a regular everyday working girl and bring her to another country. That is not that easy. The people who talk about women getting green cards and breaking bad, if we strictly talking about Latin America, they're talking about prostitutes. Most of those prostitutes are from the DR. That's just like if you talk about that's the Latin women. If you talk about white women breaking bad, if I'm not mistaken, that's those Ukrainian women be breaking bad, and it's a excuse me, those Russian women be breaking bad on their tricks. Those Ukrainian women be breaking bad. It's another ethnic group, but it just escapes me right now. I can't think. I don't date white women like that. But it's
Mm.
another group. Believe me, all of us men, traveling men, we all talk. I talk to all races of men because I want perspective from everybody. So when I talk as passionately as I do, it's because I've spent hundreds of hours of talking to men. Hundreds. I ask very intricate detail. I damn near interview those guys. Like, oh, yeah, really? Oh, really? Well, what did you guys meet at? Well, what do you do for a living? Well, what did she do for a living? Did you have to give her like, nah, dude, like, I'm not just saying this. Like, This shit comes from research. This shit comes from me talking to people, hours and hours and hours. When I go overseas, I want to talk to a little bit of everybody. I want to go talk to the white guys, the white Americans. I want to talk to the white guys from Europe. I want to go talk to the Asian guys from America, the Asian guys from Asia. I want to talk to the Africans, the Jamaicans. I want to talk to the Dominicans. I also want to talk to the local men. I need perspective. So whenever I'm talking, I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I travel. I travel and I ask questions. Believe what I'm telling you. I'm in a ton of WhatsApp groups, and we talk. I have brothers in the group from all over the world, and who also reside all over the world. And believe you me, we all compare and contrast notes. So nah, that's a bunch of horseshit. That green card. The card is a residence card, not even green. That's another thing. It's not even a green card. It's not even green.
Shout out to Brother New. All right. Here goes my 2 cents on that.
Go ahead.
It happens. There are women